Welcome to York College Basketball on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
Here's Wagner in rhythm. A three. Got it. Top of the lane. Back out to Gordon. Right side. Step back. Three. Hits again.
The Spartans play here. Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK. York.
Here's a three. Caleb Ferris nails it. Goes to Wagner. Three. It's good. It's good.
Now for the call of today's game, here's the voice of the Spartans, Daryl Henry.
Good evening, everyone, from the Mazer Center here in Lancaster. Welcome to opening night of York College basketball for the 2019-2020 season. The Spartans embark on a new campaign beginning here tonight, a non-conference matchup in Lancaster against the F&M Diplomats. And hello again, everybody. Daryl Henry alongside Scott Geis. Welcome to a new season of Spartan Hoops, and certainly a lot of promise surrounding this edition of the Green and White. And Scott, it's certainly an exciting night on the athletic calendar, and the Spartans, a really talented mix of young guys coming in, but of course the senior class gets all of these accolades, and hard to believe it's already senior year for these guys, tremendous leaders going into their fourth and final season.
Well, it's going to be the seniors that make this team go. A lot of talent, but those guys are the pulse of the team. Jared Wagner, Darren Gordon, Joey Polchinski, and Zach Novick are the guys that are going to really kind of drive this team, push this team, lead this team. A lot of talent here with the underclassmen, but really, let's be honest, it's going to be up to those four guys to play well for this team to achieve what they want to achieve this year.
Final season in the CAC, going to be a while until we see a conference game, and it's a really stacked non-conference schedule beginning tonight at F&M, a team that was 15-11 last season.
Yeah, no doubt the non-conference schedule is going to be really competitive, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this team at the beginning of the year. I think much like last year, where there were some struggles early on in the years, they tried to figure it out without Blade and Dalton. I think, and Matt, I think there'll be some of that this year, just trying to figure out rotations. So many guys on the team this year, and so many young guys that really are pretty talented, but need to find their way in terms of what their role is going to be this year.
And 7 of the first 8 will be on the road. The Spartans facing 5 teams, as per your preview article, that had 20 wins or more last year, 11 that had 15 wins or more last season to that point. And it all begins here tonight in Lancaster. We'll take a quick pregame break. We'll hear from Coach Hunter at the half tonight, but coming up shortly, we'll have the starting lineups and opening tip. York at F&M to get the new season started. We'll have it for you coming up next.
York College of Pennsylvania is where your life's work begins. It starts with the passion you'll find, the connections you'll make, the career you'll pursue, and it begins from day one. Because your life's work is more than work. It's the lives you'll touch. It's the difference you'll make. Better connections, a smarter plan, a life that works. From day one. York College of Pennsylvania, ycp.edu.
At Donegal, we understand there are many costs associated with running a business. That's why Donegal works with you to provide quality insurance products based on your business needs, and why we deliver that insurance at a price to fit your budget. Call your local independent Donegal agent today and discover why, when it comes to insurance for your business, Donegal is a better value. Contact Kochman Kunkel Insurance at 717-854-0300 or stop in at 3217 East Market Street, York. Locally owned and operated by Pam and Rudy Kochman. Kochman Kunkel Insurance.
Remember when an app was listen only? Oh yeah, that was kind of us, wasn't it? Well, we have a new app. Download the new WOYK app on the Apple and Google Play stores and take Sports Radio 1350 on the go like never before. Listen on the go like always, and now get easier access to archived games and programs on demand. Watch WOYK game broadcasts on YouTube and so much more. Search the new WOYK on the Apple and Google Play stores and download today. It's not just an app, it's a lifestyle. Sports Radio 1350. First in York, first in sports.
What's the deal with the Dan Patrick Show?
Dan Patrick.
Shouldn't Kawhi be the new Dos Equis guy? Like, wouldn't he be a great man of mystery? Instead of that guy that's supposed to look like Michael Phelps, who took over for the old guy. Yeah, I thought it was one of that was like, hey, how about we get a guy who looks like Michael Phelps as the most interesting man in the world? Kawhi would be great. Because he's so deadpan.
Dan Patrick, mornings at 9 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK. We're screaming green. How about you? The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York. This is The Rich Eisen Show. The Rich Eisen Show.
Here was Adam Silver when he was asked if he considered giving a lifetime ban to Mark Stevens.
We felt that given how contrite Mr. Stevens was, the fact that he was extraordinarily apologetic, the fact that he had no blemishes on his prior involvement with the NBA, a one-year ban seemed appropriate.
I'm going to proffer to say this is not going to be enough. How can this guy ever come back and sit on a court and say, I represent the Warriors, and a player comes into the building and sees that guy who put his hands on him? Kyle Lowry said yesterday that in these heat of a moment, tight moments, that's when you reveal who your true self is. That's what I would say about Lowry. He revealed who he is by not hitting this guy back due to instinct.
This is The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays at noon on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK.
Okay, guys, shooting a promo.
This is The Herd
3, 2, 1.
with Colin Cowherd.
In the NBA, let's be honest about this. Of all the teams next year, of all the stars that line up, LeBron's going to be the first or second best player in the league, and Anthony Davis, the only big who you trust late to hit a free throw, is one of the top 5 or 6 if they don't give up the farm, meaning keep Kyle Kuzma. Vegas this morning has them as favorites to win the West, and they've been in utter dysfunction for 12 months. That is the advantage to the massive brand. Lakers probably end up the highest-rated TV product and the co-favorites to win the title with all this mess for the last several years. I mean, LeBron and AD will be the best star duo in the NBA. They will be. And they're going to make that deal in 5 days, maybe sooner.
This is The Herd. Weekdays at 3 on Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK. Your home for York's home team. The York College Spartans play here. Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York.
Hey, Dad, what's with all these papers and stuff?
Well, you're starting college in 2 weeks, and I'm doing some homework, cramming to find a college loan to pay the rest of your tuition. I'm afraid it's going to be an all-nighter, honey.
I wanted to talk to you about that, Dad. I think a student choice loan with York Educational FCU would be the best way to go.
YEFCU? We got a mortgage through them. Great rate, and I love the fact that they have free bill payer, but student loan?
Yeah, YEFCU's student choice loan pays for my cost of attendance at York College or most other four-year schools, minus the financial aid I already received. The student choice loan would take care of tuition, books, room and board, all that stuff. But the best part is that YEFCU's student choice loan is a one-time application. That means next year, I just tell them how much I need, and they'll disperse the money right to the school.
So we don't have to reapply every year?
Nope, so step away from the homework, Dad. A student choice loan is the best move we can make.
So we're not staying up all night? Oh, did I ever tell you about the night I did an entire term paper in one night with an old typewriter and no correction ribbon?
What's a typewriter?
York Educational Federal Credit Union, 1601 South Queen Street, York. Apply online at yefcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Your home for the Spartans. Sports Radio 98.9 FM and 1350 WOYK, York.
Welcome back. Pre-game tonight from F&M as the Spartans open the 2019-20 season. Head coach Matt Hunter joins us as always. And Matt, what is this night like for you as you lead your team into a first game of the season situation?
Yeah, you try to get the guys and yourself to just focus on the process of constantly improving and doing what you have to do on a daily basis to get better. But there's always a little extra juice when the first game comes around and practices pick up a little bit and guys are just naturally excited to compete.
What are some of the natural challenges early in the season, whether it's game one or maybe the first 5 games until you really get into a rhythm?
Yeah, that's it. It's the word rhythm. There is none. I've watched some of the Division I games the last couple nights, and those guys are no different than ours, and it's tough at the beginning of the year. You don't really have a great feel for your team yet and what's going to be your best offenses and defenses and trying to figure out combinations and all that kind of stuff. So it's just been, it's always a challenge at the beginning of the year, and you just try to go out and compete and find a way to give yourself a chance in the last couple minutes.
Yeah, preseason, you get 2 scrimmages and a bunch of practices. You'd probably like to have more practices, but how were these last few weeks for your team getting ready?
Yeah, you can never have enough practices, at least if you ask a coach. If you ask one of those guys down there, they can now play enough games. So somewhere in the middle is probably the right answer. But no, it's a fun group. It's a young group. I think there's a lot of focus on the returning seniors and that, but after those guys, it's a lot of youth. So that is youthful exuberance and energy and enthusiasm, and it's also youthful mistakes and a little bit slower pace to practice.
But you like the culture of the group again?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that we work really hard at, and our older guys take a lot of pride in, and that's kind of filters down and feeds into itself at this point.
On the floor, do you expect a similar style to what we've seen in years past, or do some things need to evolve based on personnel this year?
Yeah, I think every year, we kind of have a group of principles that we're going to play with, but every year is a little bit different, the way that we tie it all together and make it fit the group that we have this year.
You mentioned those upperclassmen. It's about as good of a group of leadership as you could ask for, right? Those seniors that are coming back this year.
Yeah, those guys have played in a lot of games and had a lot of different experiences, and that is invaluable. So it helps during practice. It helps in preparation and scouting and all that type of stuff, that guys have people to lean on that have kind of seen a little bit of everything at this point.
F&M tonight, it's not like you have a bunch of games of film this year, but what are the staples of their program over the years, some of the things that they try to do?
Yeah, obviously the biggest staple all of a sudden has been removed, but you got to assume that they're going to play the same way. And so they've always been big, strong, extremely physical, great defensive team. I think that's one of the things that's kind of overlooked about them is the way that they defend. And, they've always got great players and an unbelievably rich history. And this place has been difficult to win for everybody, so playing F&M on the road and opening day is a big challenge for our team.
Last thing, when you get the guys together the last time, what are a couple of the things on the board tonight as far as keys to getting a win here?
Yeah, just compete, and establish kind of what you're starting to hear there, the energy and enthusiasm and the passion that we're going to play with, and that we're going to be tough, and we're going to make plays when it counts, and we're just going to do it all together, and we're going to work as hard as we possibly can to put ourselves in a position to be successful at the end of the night.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Daryl.
Spartan head coach Matt Hunter pregame, and we thought we would be having an opening tip-off to bring your way right about now, but that is not going to happen anytime in the next couple of minutes anyway. And the question is, will it happen tonight? F&M students are staging a sit-in on the basketball court in protest of some racially insensitive things that allegedly student athletes did over here, and there's a large portion of the student body that disagrees with how the school handled it. So there are 100, maybe 200 students literally sitting on the basketball court holding up signs as we speak.
Well,
so go to break.
25 years in college athletics, and I have never seen anything like this before. And certainly it's a pretty sensitive topic, but they're using their voices, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this gets resolved. Certainly not a way to open the season if you're the Spartans. We're completely innocent bystanders right now. Our guys are warmed up and ready to go if this game does resume, and quite frankly, that could be a big if. Guys, you're going to have to give guys a little bit more loose, time to warm up and go from there. So I would say right now, you and I can probably have a pretty lengthy conversation.
My goodness. Well, we did it at Messiah when
we did. That's right.
The officials didn't show up.
That's right.
You almost hit a deer on the way
I did
there.
almost hit a deer. That's right. I remember that, and that was a scary moment. So yeah, it's listen, it's a situation in colleges that, some of these things happen more often than they certainly should. And, the students are very frustrated and understandably so. And, it's one of those things. They certainly have the right to be able to do this. And, unfortunately, it kind of sucks for, the guys on the team, for both teams. You're excited to open your season. You're prepared to open your season. And now, quite honestly, this game could be in jeopardy, Daryl.
Yeah. Did we start to hear earlier in the day that could be a possibility? I mean, we came over not knowing what to expect.
Right.
To be honest
I think they thought they had come to a resolution, and currently that resolution ended up not happening. So our guys are seated on the bench and, really trying to just keep mental focus. The problem is, there's a lot of excitement here, and now, all the energy has been sucked out of the building. So, it's a really difficult thing to watch, and you're kind of at an impasse right now. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm a little surprised Coach Hunter hasn't taken our guys just back to the locker room and, let them, kind of unwind a little bit within the context of being out of the public eye. Because right now, they're just sitting on the bench, and that's a difficult place to be.
Yeah, 45 minutes ago, we were told that there was a resolution that would not include this, that they would simply have a couple of representatives speak, and that would be the end of it. But that is not the case. F&M now is
going
heading
back to the locker room. I wouldn't be surprised if we're not heading back here soon. There's really no benefit to us being able to stay out here, and this is not coming to a quick resolution.
Now the Diplomats are coming back to their bench, and I guess they're coming over to shake hands with the Spartans. I don't know where this is leading to, but
we might not be playing a game tonight, Daryl.
Oh my goodness. Well, a lot of thoughts here, none related to the issue that's causing this. One thing I noticed is Matt Scamuffo is here. He was hoping to. Yep, he's right over behind the Spartan bench. And when I saw him, I was just thinking to say to you, there are a lot of They canceled it.
Oh, this is...
And the sit-in protesters are cheering. The crowd's booing, the protesters are cheering.
This is going to be really interesting. We go through and make a schedule in a way that is... there's a formula to it. And now, I don't know that we're going to play. I don't know if this game will end up getting played or not. There's not probably a really good time for any team to play this game, and it's unfortunate. And Matt Hunter right now is less than pleased.
That's unbelievable.
Well,
somebody, Dean of Student Affairs or something, is speaking right now. Made that announcement. I was just about to say, there's a whole crop of Spartan freshmen that are never going to forget how their careers started. And now it's going to have to wait until Tuesday night, evidently. We didn't even get to, we were maybe 5 minutes later than I wanted to be coming on air because we had to switch to a stronger internet connection at the last moment. We didn't even get to talk about the big story on F&M's side, basketball-wise. Glenn Robinson retiring earlier this week, and the week of the first game, the winningest coach in Division III history. We thought that was going to be the big story over here.
Yeah, and that's a pretty big story. He was approaching 1,000 wins, which obviously would be historic, and decided to walk away 3 days before the season started. It's kind of unbelievable. And now this, which is kind of unbelievable. I said 25 years in athletics, and I have never seen anything remotely close to this. So, there's not a lot the Spartans can do. Heck, we might go back and practice. I don't know.
Knowing Matt, we might.
Just disappointing for our guys, disappointing for their guys too, I'm sure. You're so wound up to play and ready to go. Your whole day basically is geared towards your opening night, and now you're not going to get a chance to do that. And I don't know if Dickinson plays before Tuesday. I don't know if they do or not, but it's tough to see. And you know what? Hey, listen, these kids have every right to protest. Is it the right way to go about it? I don't know. But right now, that's what they felt they had to do, and they certainly will get attention.
They'll be all over.
This is going to be all over. We'll be seeing this a lot over the next 24-hour news cycle. That's for sure.
My goodness. Yeah, Dickinson Tuesday, that will be their opener, so it is the opener for both teams. But tonight will not be the opener for the Spartans, evidently.
I'm glad I drove over.
Yeah.
Guess I'm going to go home and write some swim stories and a women's basketball story.
Yeah, before we sign off, let's give an update on how the women are doing at Hopkins tonight.
Not good. Down 13, about midway, a little bit over 2 minutes left in the third. A young team. Yeah, this is going to be, and we'll talk about this as when they come home. This is going to be a young team. No seniors on this squad at all. And Haley Luckaball back, drills a three there to make it a 10-point game. This is going to be a young team that I think is going to shoot the ball pretty good, and a team that really I think is going to go compete. But it's going to be a team where at the beginning of the year is not going to look, hopefully, like what it's going to look like at the end of the year. And, that's something that's really good for our team. I think Coach Whitman's done a really good job in recruiting. We've got a lot of really good freshmen. So I think that this will be an exciting thing for the Spartan fans for the women's side this year. I think we're going to really have a good year. Both sides, I think the women might take a little longer to come along, but I think they're going to be pretty good towards down. Once we start conference play and really get going.
Well, I guess I'll pack up all these notes. By the way,
you did a great job of preparing, though.
Yeah, just light a fire to it. If you're wondering who the starters would have been for the Spartans tonight, we'll at least give you that. Would have been Jared Wagner, Darren Gordon. Colin Rymel was going to make his first career start tonight, sophomore guard. And up front, the stretch forward, Joe Polchinski, and David Giuliani, the muscle in the middle. That was going to be the opening night starting five for the Spartans tonight, if you're wondering how this team will look. And Jason Beatty, Mike Fraunheim, Nolan Smith graduated from last year. But
not only the CAC Player of the Year.
Yeah. But as far as freshmen go, an overall talented class, and I think maybe the first two that we might see early on, Bryce Hill and York Adams product Logan Collins, could be in the rotation right away. Some other guys will get worked in as they go, a couple of them coming off injuries, in fact. But it could be a little bit different look, with obviously Beatty graduated, but a lot of those new guys figure to work in right away as well. And that's Wagner, Gordon, Rymel, Giuliani, Polchinski would have been the first five here tonight. Probably will be on Tuesday.
Probably will be on Tuesday, too. Spartans now cut it to an 8-point lead. Minute 29 left in the third. I like this team a lot. I've got the opportunity to see him play in the scrimmage, actually, via tape. Not the ideal thing. We were pretty busy last Saturday, but it's a good team, a team that I think is going to be scrappy, a team that I think is going to be deep. I think one area that we haven't been the last couple of years is deep, but this is a roster that I think Coach Hunter can go significantly deeper than what he's done the last couple of years, and I think that is something that is exciting and certainly something that gives us the opportunity to compete at a different kind of level than what we have the last couple of years. So the ability to do that, I think, is something that's very exciting. I think there's some guys, some of the younger guys, some of the sophomores are going to have an ample opportunity to prove themselves and become part of that rotation and become something that they really haven't had a chance to do last year. I think this year is the year where they can have the opportunity to contribute as sophomores and really try and do something in terms of adding to the depth and adding to the talent on the floor.
Well, I'm going to pack up so I don't get left behind. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday, And beginning
double broadcast.
It will. Both will be on radio beginning at 5:55. My pal from the Revs a couple of years ago, Michael Mark Antonini, will come back. He will broadcast the women's home opener, which is against Stevenson. Tip time is at 6. And then I'll jump on at 7:30 from Carlisle as the men get things started at Dickinson. And again, just to paint the picture here tonight, they went through warm-ups, went through the starting lineups, and as soon as the anthem ended, students rushed the floor for the sit-in protest. The vocal leader, whoever she was, hollered that they will sit.
She didn't need a microphone, did she?
No, not even close. Hollered that they will sit and remain until this game tonight gets canceled. And sure enough, it did. Hopefully it's postponed, hopefully not canceled altogether. But we will not be playing basketball here at F&M tonight. So now for Scott Geis here in the booth with me, Daryl Henry saying so long until Tuesday night. We'll be with you on radio on the full-fledged Spartan Sports Network. Tuesday night, women's home opener at 5:55 airtime.
Don't forget to add.
And the men at 7:30. Yes, Scott?
Spartan women's soccer playing for a championship tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Playing for a championship at Mary Washington. So we'll see if Coach Sterner and the girls can pull one off and get a championship.
That would be
amazing.
Outstanding.
Yes, it would be.
Weekend indeed. But that'll do it for us tonight. Hope you can join us Tuesday for the women and the men. We'll have it for you on the Spartan Sports Network. Good night, everyone.